The first and most important bedrock act of service that you can do is showing up. I have much to say about this topic. So if you look at the 12 steps, you get to those final steps, and that's where it's like really intentional, deliberate about carrying it on, paying it forward, that doing service work being something that you're going to get to. But there's a parallel reality that I think is important, that from the very beginning, you can do service work. And here's what I tell my sponsees. When you are getting started in recovery and you find your program, whether it's a 12-step program or a 7 pillars, pure desire thing, or celebrate recovery, or, whatever, or even a therapist facilitated or coach facilitated group, or whatever it is, you find your community. Showing up is an act of service. And here's my argument for that. And I harken back to my days as a pastor. Those days you go to church, or you go to your faith community or whatever, and it's just a low attendance day. The Smiths are out, the Joneses are out, and and there's lots of holes in where people sit. And how does that feel? It's kind of like it doesn't mean that you're not going to have a good experience, or that you don't wish, you hadn't gone, but people's presence matters to us. We notice it. It affects our nervous systems. You showing up matters, even here, because things are going to happen. You're going to be out of town, or you're going to be sick, or you're going to whatever, but it matters to other people. And we notice when you're gone. We do. We notice when you're gone, much more in level 2 than we would like in level 1, for example. But your presence is an act of service. And I think we start there, because if we don't start there, then we start thinking about these like behavioral things that I can do, fit into this little box that I can check if I've done it, and I can get real performative in my service work. And that is not what I want to do. I want the things I end up doing as an act of service to grow out of my authentic presence in this community. Now, there are going to be times where, like, okay, you volunteer for this position or that responsibility, and yeah, there may be a checklist involved in that. If it's done on the foundation of your presence as service, it's going to be different. That's sort of a foundational, sort of philosophical, but there's practical elements to that as well that I like to start with. I do think that these organized programs that have opportunities for whether it's sponsorship or being mentors, there's different terms and different programs. I think that's huge. It is so needed. When I don't do this as much anymore, because I do intensives now, but back when I would, saw couples regularly, weekly or every other week for a period of months and years, couples and even individuals, this is true of individuals as well. The clients that had people outside the counseling office in that role of sponsor or mentor or, whatever, there was a qualitative difference in their recovery and healing journeys. It really matters.